Why am I feeling I have to go into the law here? It's Jason Wiggam, a tax attorney with Wiggam Geer. I help my clients fight the IRS. Today I wanted to talk to you about, can the IRS take your home if you have a tax debt? How's that?
That was great.
Okay.
That was really great. Now you just need to do that.
While you're recording. Can the IRS take your home, seize your primary residence, etc.? Technically, yes, they can. They are legally allowed to do so, but the real answer is probably not. It's highly unlikely. I've represented thousands of individuals, and it's never happened to one of my clients. I don't lose any sleep over it when I represent someone who owns a home, lives in the home, and that home has significant value and equity in it. I never worry about it. I never think it's going to happen. So let me explain, why I feel like that and why I don't worry about it. First of all, by law, the IRS can't take the property if one owes less than $5,000. Now, many of my clients owe significantly more than $5,000, but I just want to make sure we're accurate here. So if you owe less than $5,000, they're not taking your home. Second, the process by which they take your home is a very cumbersome bureaucratic process. I'm sure you're really surprised right now that it's a bureaucratic process with the IRS, but it is. First of all, you have to have a revenue officer on the case. This means typically that you owe $250,000. So if you owe less than $250,000, highly unlikely your property is getting seized. Next, you have a revenue officer. They are required to prove that you're not cooperating with them and you have no intention of paying the tax debt. So it's usually pretty easy to show that you want to enter into an installment agreement or enter into some kind of alternative resolution that prevents the IRS revenue officer from proving that you weren't cooperating, okay? But let's say they even get over that hurdle. This revenue officer then has to write a memo where they explain why you weren't cooperating, and it has to go through 6 levels of the IRS, like her manager, her manager's manager, her manager's manager, to IRS attorneys, then to the Department of Justice, then it has to get approved by a federal magistrate court judge. And, just that process alone makes it very difficult for this to get done. I think from the IRS's perspective, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. So you really have to be a bad actor, and there has to be a lot of value in the property. And, there are just a lot of taxpayers who owe money and not enough revenue officers and resources to go around to get them. So, when I have a client who owes more than $250,000 and has a lot of value and equity in their house, what do? Well, first of all, I know the revenue officer is going to try to have my client borrow against the property. So I get out in front of that. They typically want to see the taxpayer refinance the property, take out a home equity line of credit, just some kind of loan to get the value out of the property. Well, most of the time my clients are going to get denied for these loans. And the reason is the government's filed a tax lien, their credit is not good due to the tax issue, you name it. So we apply for the loans, we get rejected for 2 or 3 loans, we show them the rejection and we say, hey government, we're really sorry. We did everything we could. We tried to borrow against the property, we don't have the money to give you. We don't want to sell the property because, we need somewhere to live. I don't want to put my kids on the street, whatever. And, we offer them an alternative resolution, like an installment agreement, or we try to do a settlement, whatever it may be. And most of the time, they're just going to take that and move on. So I hope this was informative. I don't lose any sleep over whether my clients' primary residence would get seized by the IRS, and if you have that concern, hopefully you found this informative and feel a little bit better about it too. My name is Jason Wiggam. I'm a tax attorney at Wiggam Geer. I help my clients fight the IRS. My number is 404-233-9800. Thank you.
So tired trying to see from behind the red in my eyes. No better version of me I could pretend to be.